Interoperability SIG report for 2021-22, and this, as Michelle said, I'm both an individual member of CO-LaN and a contractor for CO-LaN. This one is with my individual membership of CO-LaN hat on as the leader of the SIG. So, without further ado, we'll move on. Nope, he's going to respond to me eventually. Quick overview, talk about the charter, membership work process, then move on to the joint work we do with M&T, which Michael has already referred to, talk about COLT, CO-LaN test suite, and then our plans for 2022-23. So we have actually, for the first time in years, and why does my computer not want to respond to... Okay, so I very go slow. The task of the Interoperability SIG has not changed, but we have actually updated our key responsibilities. First time in years. And unless the Management Board approved this yesterday, this is actually a draft charter.
They did approve.
They did approve. It's no longer a draft charter. Thank you. Okay, first responsibility to provide new tools to support the achievement of Cape Open interoperability. And the current focus is on the CO-LaN test suite. That is the new tool we are working on. Develop and maintain the existing CO-LaN portfolio of software tools, which is mainly COLT, the logging and testing tool. So this is not individual testing of PMEs or PMCs. This is logging the interaction between a PME and a PMC. So if something goes wrong at runtime, you can actually see what got transferred each way and work out what's going wrong. And the TLB PIA installers to make sure we've all got the same information installed on the machines when we're developing and running Cape Open applications. CO-LaN also has example codes and wizards. These are available and the SIG is responsible for making them available via the repositories, but we do no maintenance on them. So those first two are a development of what we already had in the charter. The third key responsibility is completely new, because under the new versioning scheme, somebody has to be responsible for making the final decisions on version numbers to be assigned, especially if two SIGs, for example, are developing things, new additions to the standard simultaneously, and we've got to make sure we assign a different version number to each of them. So the Interoperability SIG will have that responsibility to make the final decisions on what version numbers are assigned to new versions of the specification. And the final responsibility has been there forever, is using the suite of vendor licensed software to assist in interoperability testing. So doing one-to-one testing if it is requested by a full member. So that's the new charter. Membership, myself and Michelle. Michael Halloran, who stood down from full-time membership of the SIG last year, does still provide us with expert consultancy on an ad hoc basis. But a SIG with only 2 members isn't really a SIG. So the request is still out there for 1 or more new members to join the SIG to actually beef up our ability to deliver. The requirements for somebody joining the SIG: you need to be familiar with CO software development. You need to have a good knowledge of IT architecture and development tools. And I have to say, you need to be independent of the M&T SIG, because we work very closely with the M&T SIG. So somebody who's already in the M&T SIG joining the Interoperability SIG doesn't actually give us a new member. So if there's anybody out there who can fulfill 1 or more of those requirements and is interested in joining the SIG, let me know. The work process, we have regular joint meetings with M&T once a month on the issues that overlap the two SIGs, which I think Michael's already referred to. We oversee the work done by the CO-LaN software development resource, which is Siondo and Amsterdam. And Michelle and I do independent work between calls. We don't currently have monthly SIG calls because with only Michelle and myself there is no need. If we had another member we would resume the monthly hour and a half calls to discuss progress and next steps and everything else. So that's our work process. So, moving on. Two things we do jointly with the have done jointly with the M&T. The versioning protocol, which has been rumbling around 2-3 years now. The versioning document has been recently updated with clarifications and readability enhancements. When we finish the review and the updates, we will be submitting it to the management board for final approval, which hopefully will be this year, Michael?
Well,
yeah,
hopefully.
Probably up to Bill. Bill Barrett's the next step on that one.
Yeah, I don't want to commit it.
But the protocol itself, major.minor.build.patch. So the specifications are now currently on 1.2.0, I believe. So the major and minor digits are for breaking changes. So that when we go to 1.3 or we go to 2.0, we know it is not backwards compatible with something else, with the different major and minor versions. The build is for additive changes. So if we go from 1.2.0 to 1.2.1, you know the two things can interoperate, except for the new feature that's been added. Which obviously if you've got an application that uses 1.2.0, it doesn't have that new feature in it, but they will still interoperate. And then the patch is the bug fixes. And the patch is a different number for every SIG. Every patch will have a unique number, so we can know when things have been patched. So that is the protocol that has been proposed. And we are already working on Cobia, on the test suite. We'll work on the new additive changes to the specifications that people have talked about this morning. And as I've already said, the Interoperability SIG will make the final decisions on assigning that version number. So if two SIGs are working on additive changes simultaneously, the Interoperability SIG will just say, well, one of you is 1.2.1, one of you is 1.2.2.
May I comment?
Yes.
I do not think the patch is different per SIG because the patch number needs to be on the IDL or on the type library. So the third number could actually be different by SIG, and the fourth number with the highest patch number includes all of those.
All of them. So it will still be a decision by the Interoperability SIG as what the patch number, because every patch number needs to be unique.
This is true.
Yes. Thank you, Jasper. So that's the versioning protocol. The other thing we've been doing jointly with the M&T SIG is documenting of tests. And this is required for the test suite. If we can't document the tests that are required, we can't have a test suite. And what we've done with M&T is a template has been developed for the documentation. Michael's already referred to this. And it can be implemented. It is using the identification interface, and it can be and already has been implemented in the CO-LaN test suite. So it is a live document for the identification interface, but it also provides a template for all other SIGs for documenting the tests on the interfaces they are responsible for. So it serves two purposes. Need to talk briefly about COLT, the Cape Open Logging and Testing Tool. As I've said already, this is not for standalone testing of a PME or a PMC. It's for testing for logging the communication between a PME and a PMC. COLT 2.5, we said last year we would be releasing it in the last year. We have not released it. It was designed to cover the latest versions of the development tools like Visual Studio, with the addition of energy and information ports and flowsheet monitoring. It was delayed last year because we had serious issues with the TLB PIA installer version 2.1.2, and we spent a lot of time sorting those out. We can't actually test code for flowsheet monitoring because I don't believe we have anything we can test it on. And we then went on to the CO-LaN test suite. So 2.5 of code has not yet been released, so it is not consistent with the latest version of the specifications. But we will look to release it in 2023, but that is not guaranteed. We've got to get other things done first. And at the moment, given that we don't have any implementations to test the new things that have been added, it's not actually required immediately. But we will be able to do it as soon as it's needed. Moving on to the CO-LaN test suite, version 0.2.0 is now available as of last week. We've addressed some issues following the vendor feedback earlier in the year. We've got a large number of tickets that have been logged but are still open. We've implemented the tests for the identification interface that were developed by M&T, and the tests for property package compliance have been partially documented and implemented. So we have moved a long way. The version 0.2.0 moves a long way on from last year. And I'm going to go into a lot more detail in the next presentation. So I'm not going to add any more at this moment in time. Our plans for 2022-23. It would be really good to recruit at least one additional member to the SIG. We will continue to manage and support the continued development of the CO-LaN test suite. So version 0.2.1 will have all open tickets addressed. Version 0.2.2 will be full compliance testing for thermodynamics packages. Following the versioning protocol there, both of those two are additive changes, won't break anything that's gone before. And we're certainly having the 0.2.1 by the end of this year, 0.2.2 probably by the middle of next year. Then late 2023, a production release of version 1.0 addressing all vendor feedbacks, all significant defects fixed, and full compliance testing for property packages. We will do other maintenance of COLT and the TLB PIA installer as required, and we will continue to have regular meetings with M&T SIG. And if we do recruit an additional member, we'll start having monthly meetings again with the SIG on its own. And that basically is the report of the Interoperability SIG. Any questions?